Hello and welcome to Ghoulish. I am Max Booth, host, and today on the program I am talking to Zachary Ashford in celebration of his brand new novella, Soul Survival, which is about carnivorous koalas? What the fuck? What in the hell? What could that be? Well, guess what? We're going to tell you on today's episode. And not only do I have Zach with me, who is indeed an Australian, if you paid attention to last Monday's episode, I had Glenn Pelkle on the show, who indeed is also an Australian. So to continue this week of Australia, I asked Glenn to come back and be my special guest co-host because Glenn knows way too many facts about koalas and I know nothing about it. So I would have been a bad host. So yeah, and this is a special edition of Ghoulish. Berlin. 3 guys were talking. Can you believe it? 3 white men on one podcast? Who the fuck could have predicted this would ever happen? Not I. Not I. Alright, so, yeah, strap in. There's going to be a lot of Australian accents. Maybe I might do one too. What do the Australians say? Hello there. Thought you might want to listen to some Ghoulish. Is that Australian? No, it's not. I don't know what that was, and I do apologize to whatever country I just insulted. Let's listen to this episode now. I guess I have to also laugh in Australian, so you want to go? I don't know how Australians laugh. Probably how anyone else would laugh. I am now banned from Australia, which is okay with me. Easy peasy. Do you guys have that in Australia? Easy peasy. Excellent.
We have easy peasy.
Yeah. I told you something recently, Zach, and you said cool as piss. I thought, well, piss is not
piece
cool.
Of piss. Piece of piss, man.
Okay. What, you can't have a piece of piss. It's a liquid.
Yeah, it's I guess that's the beauty of idiom like that. Hey, it makes no sense. You can't sort of backtrack it to anything logical.
I have to assume both of you have been face to face with koalas. Am I correct in this?
Yes.
Yes, and I have seen the nutsacks up close.
Okay, well, I would like both of you to tell me in graphic detail these experiences you've had with koalas. Let's begin with you, Zach, since we're promoting this book of yours.
Oh, okay. So I guess the first thing is when we very first came to Australia, I wasn't actually born here, but when we first came here, we went for a drive with my old man, and he was like, hey, let's go find some koalas. Like, it was just going to be really easy. And I think he just drove us like 10 minutes out of this field, and we just found nothing. So it wasn't really an experience with koalas at all, but it just kind of occurred to me then. I was like, hey, I remembered this thing. Anyway, no, I did a lot of work experience for Steve Irwin, crocodile hunter.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, pretty much every weekend, I lived, fairly close to where his zoo was. And I would go there every weekend. And as a volunteer, the first thing you get to do is just pick up koala shit for hours. And it's really a nice introduction to why you don't really want to be a zookeeper. So it's, and you start to half-ass it because you're a volunteer and you start thinking, oh, why am I here? I could be hanging out with my friends this weekend. And, and there's a real zoologist going, hey, man, you got to pick up that shit.
Yeah. What does koala shit look like?
It's like little dry oval balls. Man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like little black nut sacks, huh? Oh no.
Yeah.
No. Oh
I
no.
don't know what your nutsack looks like, but if it looks like a little dry black ball, then fair enough, I guess.
Well, I guess you do know what it looks like. What about you, Glenn?
Mine was more involved with my own shit as opposed to picking up their shit.
Did you space dock a koala?
I attempted it. No, so when I was little, I had this friend named Adam, and he lived near my house, but he probably lived like a 5-minute bike ride. But his house was way down like this long dirt road, and they were the only. It was like an old farmhouse, and it was like the only house nearby. And we used to get up all kinds of shit down there. But one night I stayed over, and I was sleeping in the spare room, and I was pretty young, and I hear this noise like outside. And it sounded like a woman getting murdered. Like it was the worst sound I'd ever heard. And like I was probably like 6 or 7, maybe a bit younger. I don't even know. And it was literally the worst sound I've ever heard. Like, have you guys ever heard the noise that a fox makes?
No.
Is this a joke? Like that dumb
Oh,
fucking
no.
song?
Dude, if you want to hear the most like haunting sound ever, Max, listen to a fox at nighttime. But anyway, it was worse than that. And like I hear this noise, and I'm like shitting myself. And so I got up and like in the middle of the night at my friend Adam's house, and I don't know why this part's necessary, but he had those chocolate covered sultanas, like chocolate covered sultanas. And
Yeah.
if for whatever reason I stole a bag of them before I left, but I took a bag of them out of his cupboard and rode home at like 2:00 in the morning because I was like terrified of this noise. And like as I was going down his driveway, it's like all I could hear like in the trees, and I thought I was gonna fucking die. And it turns out it was just a koala, and it was, I don't know whether it was mating or something, but they just made this like horrible fucking calling sound. And I like riding down this dirt road in the middle of the night with a pocket full of sultanas, like crying because I thought something in the trees was gonna. And that was the first time I realized what koalas actually are like.
Yeah, it's that big belching sound, eh?
Oh, it's fucked.
Yeah, it's like, it's the males, man. They're up in the trees. That's like, and that's like real attractive to the female koalas, apparently.
Yeah,
But,
well, there's something wrong with them bitches.
Which
That's right.
way do koalas mate? Do they have a position they prefer?
I don't know. I don't know how true this is, but I was told that like once the males are done with the women, they pretty much just push them out of the tree. Like it's like here's your bus fare kind of attitude. So it's not real nice apparently.
That's how I met my spouse. She fell from a tree.
There you go. That's handy. One push from a tree. It's kind of like an Australian version of the praying mantis. Like they don't bite their heads off; they just drop kick them out of a fucking tree.
That's pretty extreme, man. You guys all extreme. Do you guys drink a lot of Mountain Dew down there?
No.
I see you guys talking about these flavors of Mountain Dew, and I think, fuck, man, America is crazy.
I'm going to see if this works. I got a video of a koala. I don't know if it'll come through.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you see why I fucking rode home crying?
Is that real?
Yeah, man, that's real.
That was a test bit. That is what they do. That's like on ABC Brisbane. That's fucking reliable reporting.
That sounded like you were making that noise. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's what you can see why I shit my pants. I don't know why. I needed the fucking chocolate sultanas as like comfort food when I got home.
What all these chocolate sultanas? Like just a nut?
You don't know what do you have? You guys have sultanas.
We don't have these.
You don't have sultanas?
No.
Yes, nah, real?
Just like it's possible. I don't know about them though.
The shits actually. Really? Were they similar to sultanas, dude? Is that what they look like? They're shits?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like raisins, man, but sultanas, I guess.
Yeah, you got raisins, Max?
I know what raisins are.
Yeah, chocolate covered raisins.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay. I guess I've never been told this specific name before. I'm learning all types of things when I talk to you guys. All right.
So, Zach, is it?
Yes.
Are the koalas drop bears in your book, or are they koalas?
No, they're drop bears. Like we all know that there's the idea of the drop bear. Well, Max probably doesn't, but you would, I assume. And
Yes.
I just wanted to. I was like, that's kind of cool, but I wanted to make them way more predatory and way more kind of hardcore than just a koala that falls out of a tree. So I thought of what would make it that way. If it was a predator, how would it change? Those kinds of things, and what would make it more amusing in that kind of way to do that. So I think of them as drop bears. They're probably not even technically. People say, "What's a drop bear?" It's just a koala with teeth and big claws. I think is it National Geographic even or the Queensland Museum? Someone put like a real entry in on April Fool's Day or something for drop bears. They said they were like really big, but I just sort of tripped them up a bit, pimped them out, and made them even more kind of evil, I guess. So I think of them as nasty drop bears. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
I didn't know. I didn't know there was a difference, but I guess what the difference is, as you said, is they drop.
Well, drop bears,
Yeah.
Mac, are they're a myth. They're like the Yeti for Australia. But like they use them to scare tourists, but they're like double the size or triple the size, depending on what you look at, as normal koalas, and like savage as hell. Big massive teeth, big massive claws, and they drop down and like tear you apart. And they used to, back in the early days, that's what they would tell tourists, like scare them. It was kind of like the
Yeah.
Australian book, it was like the drop bears, and now it's just become like a national, a huge Australian thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just this sort of there's this real history I think here of like because the animals are so dangerous, you can pretty much tell tourists anything about our animals, and there's even like things like a hoop snake and these crazy kind of satirical, I guess, kind of they're not even really cryptids, are they? They're just like a joke that's sort of become a bit of a cultural kind of I don't know what you'd call it, symbol, I guess. But yeah, that's the basic gist of it. You try and trick the tourists into sticking some Vegemite on their ears and going out into the bush when they go on a bushwalk and freak them
Yeah,
out. So
that's cool. We don't have. We don't. I guess we do have like similar things, like you said, like the Yeti. But no one's afraid of a Yeti. Like I don't think anyone comes to the U.S. and they go, "Oh, am I getting attacked by a Yeti?"
Bigfoot.
Big Feet, as his real name is, because he has more than 1 foot.
Well, you don't know. You haven't seen him.
You think so, but I have.
Haven't seen him that Zach?
I've seen lots of folks with big feet, and they could be anyone. We don't know. Now, I want to circle back to something you said, Zach.
Yo.
Vegemite. Explain
Yes.
what that is.
Oh man, how do you like? Okay, if you were English, I could explain this really easily. It's just something you put on toast or crackers or whatever. It's like a yeast kind of condiment. It's an acquired taste.
Is to put a knife, like not a butter knife, not a sharp knife, inside the interior of your cockhole and scrape it around, and then put that on some toast with some butter and eat it.
Oh, so I have
Yeah.
had it. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you've had
Yeah, that's pretty good. talk to me about this book, Zach. Tell me about where it came from. Talk to me about how you got picked up with the Rewind or Die series.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I guess for a long time, even sort of going back to when I did my creative writing stuff at uni, I had this idea of like a reality TV show where there it is a reality TV show, but they think it's not happening, but it is, and they're being filmed anyway, like the kind of ultimate kind of dramatic irony on these losers. And then when the Rewind or Die thing was announced, I was like, I've been torn with this idea of having a drop bear story as well, because I just like those creature features, and it's pretty easy to use some of the Aussie stuff that we're surrounded by. And I just sort of thought, well, man, that will work really well, because if they're there and they're on this island, and I can say that they've evolved differently and blah, 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 blah. And so then I just sent it in. I knocked it out as quickly as I could, sent it in to Eddie, and yeah, he came back a couple of weeks later and just said, yeah, I've had a read through this. I'm going to go ahead with it. So it's really cool. It's the first novella I've had released. So that was a little fist bumping moment before going to work in the morning, and and the missus is like, oh, great, does this mean you're going to be spending more time sitting there writing? and It's like, yeah. So look, and then I just sort of worked it out. And as I was doing it, like how I could sort of have fun writing this story that's really kind of, I think it's pretty lean story. It doesn't have a lot of kind of extra stuff and just get straight into that 80s style Slaughterfest. The Call talked a lot about having movies like, Night of the Lepus with the big rabbits. And I'd actually watched that fairly recently, and then books like the Rats as well, which I think might even come out slightly before the 80s, the first one, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And just always like that idea of just, those creature features where they're kind of almost real animals just twisted to a crazy kind of proportion, and then just set loose on people who have no real means of defending themselves about it at all, and just the chaos that sort of unfolds.
Absolutely. I just read the book, and what you said about it being lean is 100% correct. It's fast paced. It doesn't fuck around. Immediately, you're getting these koala type of maniacs just fucking letting loose and eating some folks. It's really fun. Action, fucking intense as hell, and also really funny. I thought it was pretty humorless.
Yeah, thanks, man. I thought that was really important. I think like sometimes we read these like, and it's pretty gory. We read these gory books, and sometimes you can come away just thinking, "Fuck, man, that was dark." But I think that stuff works better when you've got the humor there, and a lot of it's really juvenile humor. Like people trading in shit and things like that. That is the blatant kind of over the top humor. But then even like all the characters, they're such stereotypes. I really kind of wanted to poke fun at that idea of reality TV. I don't know if you guys have seen like a show Married at First Sight. Like my missus loves it, man. And I watch these people on there and I'm just like, they're such a bad advertisement for humanity in general.
Do you know something about that show?
Yeah, Married at First Sight TV show. And it's just this reality show where they just put a whole bunch of people who obviously are well into their 30s and have never been able to find anyone who wants to be with them. And they put them into a room and they make them pair up and marry them and spend time together. And it's just humanity at its lowest. And I just thought about, those kinds of people in a story, maybe have one or two people who are fairly normal who've been put there, and the rest of it just, I think I have that conversation like all these people are dickheads. Yeah, that's why they chose us, because we're dickheads. So there's that. I wanted that wry kind of, almost a bit of a satirical tone to that, and I hope that came through, because obviously the stereotypes start looking pretty not okay if you've missed that. So yeah.
Yeah, it comes through, definitely. It was one of the most enjoyable aspects of the book, I would say, is how you poke fun at reality TV. Have you seen this show, Glenn?
I was actually going to say it's real funny. Like while you're sitting there saying all that, I actually know one of the women on the the last series. I was actually we got a bit of history. One of the women that showed up on that show, and
Do you feel vindicated?
You're exactly right in what you said. Which is funny when you're like, and again, I'm not talking down on anyone. People choose you, but like when you're like, oh, they can't, they can't be around. They haven't met anyone that they could put up with them or stand them. And like, she was a perfect example. And she also happened to be like the first ever person kicked off maths, if that tells you who it was,
Okay.
for being an absolute shit stain. So it was kind of funny that you were saying all that.
Well, there you go.
Man, that could have gotten extremely awkward.
Hey, man. Well, you said that. Do we know each other? It's a small country, population-wise. So.
Max said that.
Yeah.
I haven't read the book yet. I got it this morning, and then there's a whole situation. But I'm actually really looking forward to reading it. When Max asked if I'd come on, I was like, he said it was about koalas and whatnot, and straight away I was like, fuck, I need to read this. And
excellent.
So I've downloaded it, and I'll be on it straight after this. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. And from what Max said, it sounds like a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh, excellent, man. It's great to hear. I hope you dig it, hey. So.
Now, Zach, do you know many facts about koalas, like specifically how the babies eat?
I can make them up if I have to. So
You don't have to because I have an expert with me today, Glenn.
Make it up because I want to see if you can make it up anything bizarre as what the actual truth is.
when we're talking, are we talking about the baby babies once that when they're in the pouch, or the bigger ones?
It's just what babies eat in general, like baby koalas, like koala joeys.
I'm guessing that like in the pouch, there's some sort of like sap milk coming out that they're eating.
Oh, there's some kind of milk.
All right. Yeah. Excretion. I don't know. I guess they wouldn't excrete into their own pouch. That'd get real messy.
Well, they don't shit in their own pouch, but you got that part right. They do eat shit. Baby koalas. So because the koala's primary source of food is like super tough on their stomach, because one, koalas are dumb as all fuck. They only eat things that are poisonous to them. The koala joeys have to rely on their mother for nourishment, and it's not a milk. It's a special mixture of like shit and gut bacteria that is vital to like the literal shit eater's development. Like it's like a creamy substance, and it's called pap. And
yeah.
fucked up is that's not even the worst part. Like it looks gross. I mean, if you guys want to Google it. Because they use their mouth to stimulate the mum's asshole to produce the pap, and it's quite wet and it gets everywhere. So they pretty much like rim job their mum to survive. It's a tough life.
Yeah, that's nature at its horrifying worst, hey?
Yep. That's I mean, no wonder they're dumb. Like they're probably so traumatized they just keep themselves dumb, so they never realize what they had to do to like survive. Like maybe they keep themselves all messed up, so they never have to come to the realization that they ate their mum's asshole.
This was my childhood.
That's how I was raised. I just Googled koala pap, and if you would have told me that was Vegemite, I would have said, yeah, that seems right.
I gotta look at this.
And like your story's not too far off the truth. Like I haven't read it yet, but they on average they say they're more aggressive than a crocodile.
Yeah, I had one in my backyard a few years ago, and it just sort of ran away. But I've heard that if you get them cornered, they can be pretty aggressive, and obviously people try and pick them up and get scratched and all that sort of shit.
Aren't they fucking like chlamydia havens?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely rife with it. It's like, and especially after the fires as well. Like now, there's fuck all koalas left apparently. So,
yeah. Does fire what double chlamydia or something, or am I missing something there?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like obviously, like some of the areas where the percentage was probably a greater number, whereas now there's I guess the percentage hasn't necessarily changed. Let me rephrase how I'm saying this. If there's like 1,000 koalas left in the wild and like 70% of them have chlamydia, I mean the 30% are free. But if there's like 100 koalas left, there's 30 koalas without it now. So it's probably just going to spread more. I don't know. I'm not sounding very scientific, and that's because I'm just bullshitting, I guess. But yeah.
Are you telling me you're not an expert in chlamydia, Zach?
No, I'm not an expert at all. Thank God.
I believe with the heat, if you are around the heat long enough, you just naturally develop chlamydia. I think that's how it works.
Are you sure? Because I thought that if you're in the heat killed viruses, and you could get some sunlight onto those koalas, like maybe up their assholes while they're getting a rim job, and that shit would be fixed. I'm pretty sure I heard someone say something along those lines recently.
Seems like a myth.
What Max was saying is that if you have sex with a koala while it's on heat, you will get it.
And if you have sex while on fire, you will die.
Yeah, which is what that song was about, right? Who are those guys? I forget their name, man. They're really middle of the road, boring fucking. Yeah, sex on fire. I don't know. I'm totally killing this conversation with dumb tangents. So
I know what band you mean. The band. I forget the band, but the song is called like "Oh No, I'm Having Sex. I'm Also on Fire," right?
Yeah, something like that, and it just got played like every 3 minutes on every radio station in the country for about a year. It was awesome.
Is it Your Sex Is on Fire? That song?
No.
Yeah.
Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon, that's the one.
I'm thinking of a different song.
You're
Pretty
thinking
sure
of
they
the
were an okay band before that. But,
yeah. That one.
yeah, that's the one.
That's
There
a
we-
different song. The one I'm
Like-
thinking of is it's called "I'm Having Sex, I'm Also on File." Oh no! And the song is basically just a guy screaming the whole time in pain.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a Mr. Bungle song.
Is it a Nirvana?
How come baby koalas are called joeys? What's up with that?
I don't know. It's what we call baby kangaroos too. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. Let's have a
Well,
look.
Australia has dumb names for lots of stuff, man. You should see
think
our
they were-
sporting teams.
They really like they come into the spotlight when Friends was like really at its peak.
Yeah, they found them then. It was actually him. He was here touring, presenting people. Hey, what's this? Just reached into his pouch. You know, how you doing? Oh, it's a Joey.
I think the guy.
Like,
I think the guy. Go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was trying to think of someone else from Friends that I know to like make a joke about it, but I haven't actually seen that show.
The guy from Joey is actually the guy who sang that song I was telling you about. The guy from Joey. The show is now called Joey.
He did get a side show called Joey, I think.
That guy's definitely dead.
Why is baby kangaroo called a Joey? Originates in the Aboriginal language, and Joey means small animal. Joey is a collective norm for any small animal. So everything's a Joey.
Nice. So
and now I feel bad for putting shit on that.
if an animal grows a large, does it become a Joseph?
Josiah.
Fair enough. Glenn, Zach, do you have any more koala facts you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, I do like the fact that they're super dumb, and I know that sounds mean, but like to the fact that it's weird. They're dumb enough to like not stop eating things that are poisonous to them. Like the only food they eat is like one food that their body can't digest. Like in Australia, there's plenty of stuff to eat, but they'll eat the one thing that they can't eat, and it keeps them dumb. But somehow they've evolved to actually have like an internal helmet. Like their skull is like way thicker than any other mammal's skull, apparently. So if they fall out and land on their head, they just fucking climb back up and keep going. And the I think I said to you to this. I think I said this to you last time, Max. Is that like the most commonly used measurement for intellectual capacity is the ratio of brain to body size, and koalas have the smallest brain to body size ratio of any animal in the world. And another determination for intelligence is the number of folds or wrinkles on a brain. And humans, for example, have a very, very wrinkly brain. Well, most of us do anyway. Koalas' brains are like smooth as a fucking marble. So like they're not even smart enough to understand that like what they eat kills them. And if you try to give them eucalyptus that's been taken off a tree, they won't eat it. They can't understand that it's still edible after it's left the tree.
That explains why the displays they have to actually go and get real eucalyptus branches and stick them on fake trees. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I would eat anything off a tree. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, probably not down here anyway. It's like
I am terrified of Australia. I don't think I would ever visit. It's not.
I was just about to say, when you come down, Max, I'll show you around. I'll take you to a koala haven.
I already have chlamydia. Thank you.
Australia is really not. It's overhyped. Like maybe we should talk about that. Like, what do you think, Zach? Like, we get it, it's fun, but it's definitely not as bad as it's made out to be.
What's that? The wildlife or Australia in general?
Just Australia in general.
Yeah, I reckon Australia goes all right. I've done a bit of traveling over the last few years. I don't think I'd live anywhere else.
Nah, she goes all right.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, I guess growing up, like reading websites like cracked.com, it gives you a certain expectation that if you set foot in this place, you are going to get killed by some type of animal.
Yeah.
When friends come over from like America and stuff, they're like, "Wow, like you guys have cities." Like you take them to Melbourne, and they're like, they think there's going to be like fucking, giant snakes coming across like the highway and stuff. It's like it's not like that.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, and you can actually go and you can play games with those. One of my mates, we were up in central Queensland where there's crocodiles, and the swimming hole we were going to go to had been closed down, and he's just like, I'm just going to go swimming here. Well, there's a fucking crocodile sign there, man. You can't go in there, but he did, and he's okay, and he didn't get eaten by crocodiles, or we didn't even see one. So maybe it's all just part of the mythos for the tourists to come, and maybe the crocodiles won't eat you.
That's one instance where he's actually super lucky. Like that
Yeah,
is like,
yeah, I know, yeah.
very, very likely to get eaten by a crocodile. There's a sign there. Like
Yeah.
you see it on like every second day. Like a tourist ignored crocodile warnings and now missing. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing that is true in Australia. I think it's kind of like Pokemon when you're a kid. Like if you avoid the fucking grass, you'll be all right. Like long grass is a bad sign in Australia.
Have you guys ever tried to I've seen videos, mostly in movies, where someone walks up to a crocodile and just opens its mouth and they put their head inside? Have you done that yet?
That's how I crack my peanuts, actually.
Oh, peanuts. Okay.
Peanut. No, I don't think if I fucking was close enough to do that to a crocodile, I wouldn't be close enough for long. Like it's
they're super aggressive, though.
not bad. Like Mac, have you seen the videos where like there's dead still water because they're like the masters of camouflage. They're like dead still water. You can almost see under the water, and somebody will come up like like a Steve Irwin's a perfect example. I'll send you some videos. Like they come up and have like a bit of meat in their hand and tap the surface of the water where it's like you can't see a single thing, and all of a sudden this fucking ginormous crocodile launches out of the water and like tears it out of their hand. Like
Good
when
God.
you would just walk into that water, like if you didn't know, like it just looks like you can see into it. It's like clear and like
Yeah.
the bottom, and like it's just like they watch you too. Like the fucking scariest part is that they watch people and they learn their habits. And if you go to a watering hole at a certain time every day, like say if you're camping and you go there every morning at 6:00, they learn that and they wait for you. That's the scary part.
Yeah, man.
Fucking terrifying.
Like you go to fill your water up, like Crocodile Dundee, and they're fucking you're gone.
Yeah, although there's a really cool video I saw. I'm trying to find it now, where these kids they're like fishing in some billabongs, and
Oh yeah,
and this crocodile, and it just chases them like for a good 50, 60 yards off there. That's what they say. You don't go near the water really, but yeah.
Is that the one where it chases a fish?
Yeah, I think it is. They were just young kids. It was probably last year that the video came out. I think about it. I might have even done an Aussie Man article on it. I don't know. But
there's these fish in Max, and literally as they're reeling the fish out of the water, this crocodile just comes out chasing after the fish. And these young kids, other kids filming it. He's like, "Fucking run, Barry!" He's like, "Fucking, fucking hilarious! Like, it's a fucking croc, can't run."
Which is the exact correct response. But, yeah.
It's funny, I'm saying all this stuff about these expectations I would have if I came and visited, but I moved to Texas, and Texas is fucking crazy too. We have crocodiles, we have alligators, we have all types of deadly snakes, we have red ants, which are just these tiny assholes that...
Are they the same as our fire ants?
Yeah, same thing. Those fuckers suck. So I mean, we have the same things. We just don't have kangaroos or tiny animals with a fucking chlamydia.
And this is probably.
Yeah. Go. No, I was just going to be a smart ass. You go.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's probably controversial and it'll probably get me cancelled. But we don't have guns either. So I feel like
I was going to say that. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Texas seems to have a lot of guns.
I am holding a gun as I talk to you guys. In case one of you tries to do something, I'm ready.
You're scratching your ear with it,
Yeah, exactly. I'm pushing up my glasses with it.
But is that a thing, Max? Like, is that us, being Australian and ignorant, like a lot of you guys are towards us in, our wildlife? Are we like, oh, everyone's got guns, you better run? Or is that a legitimate thing over there?
Oh, it's legitimate, man. I didn't see these many guns until I moved to Texas. But yeah, you just see people walking around with guns on their hips. Sometimes they have rifles slung across their backs as they walk into a McDonald's. It's fucking crazy.
And does that, is it something Like I could go outside right now and see a snake or a spider, or like I could find one if I looked hard enough, and I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, is that what you guys are like with guns? There, just kind of like, oh, there's fucking John walking down with an assault rifle, getting the fucking big man.
I don't think so. I mean, anytime I see someone with a gun, I'm like, what's about to happen right now?
Mm.
But maybe it's because I'm not from Texas. I haven't had this discussion with too many people. And the friends I do have in Texas, most of them are not native to Texas. They moved here for some reason, like I did. So they all have like the same opinions about guns. Like they don't like them like I do. I mean, they don't like them as I also don't like them. And we do get kind of creeped out when we see them. We don't know what's going to go on. But a lot of people, I mean, they go with that whole Texas act. They walk around with the big boots and the cowboy hats, and they have guns.
Why Texas? Like, why do they have more guns? Is that just a thing? Like, is there a reason?
I think so, but I also think I don't think I'm educated enough to
Yeah.
really tell you guys. I think it just has a long history of being in the South, and they'll spend. I mean,
Like cowboys.
yeah, and like ever since the beginning of Texas, I think they've long wanted to like be a separate country from the United States, and they have a lot of like really conservative, but not conservative like the rest of the country mindsets. And they really do have that cowboy, no one's going to tell me what to do way of living.
That's fair, I suppose. Like, I mean, you're right. I don't know enough on it to comment either, so I don't want to come across as an asshole. It's I was just curious, you know, like in Australia, like we have, and like you know, the kind of animals we have for whatever certain reason. Like I just wasn't sure if there was like a particular reason that they had them, but I think like Texas Ranger and stuff. Hey, like it's that cowboy kind of. It's like is it a cowboy state? Would you call it that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I would call it cowboy state.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I did have something to say on that.
I encountered a cowboy yesterday morning, actually, at my hotel job. Right now, because of the pandemic, in the morning, in the morning, we have the coffee station behind the front desk. And I have to make all the coffee so nobody else can touch it and possibly spread something. And this guy comes down with these big cowboy boots, a giant fucking hat, vest, and a jacket. And he finds out that I have to make the coffee. And he goes, God damn it, I'm an American, and Americans make our own coffees. He just like stormed out of the lobby, all fucking asshole-ish.
I read that. Yeah. Sometimes I don't know whether you just like you're taking the piss or if you're like being serious. And then
yeah,
I'm like, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Gave us a Texas. You need to give us your Australian accent. It didn't record earlier, so we need your Australian attempt.
Oh, what should we talk about? I can't just begin. I have to know what we're talking about to give you an Australian. Take the piss, mate? Okay.
Yeah.
You're taking a piss, mate. I guess I could. I'll do what that cowboy said, but if he was Australian.
All right, here we go.
God damn it! I'm a fucking American, and Americans make their own coffee, eh, mate? Goodbye.
Did that work?
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean, if the goal was to hurt my feelings, yeah, it worked.
Yeah, perfect. That's the exact effect.
Well, this has been fun. I think we've reached the end of this episode. Zach, real quick, tell us where folks can buy this new novella of yours, and also the title. I don't think anyone has said the title yet.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So yeah, it's called Soul Survivor. It's the Unnerving Rewind or Die 6. You can get it online, Amazon. There's obviously ebook copy and print copy. It's online at a few other places as well. Your Barnes and Nobles, your Book Depository, they've got it. And obviously, bearing in mind the postage is probably a bitch to the United States or anywhere else in the world outside of Australia. I do have a few copies here. I'm happy to sign them and send them out. And that's basically it. You know, the usual kind of suspects have got it. And
nice.
Yeah.
How can folks find you online?
I got my Twitter, just Zachary Ashford. If you search me up on there, you'll find me. I have a website, zacharyashford.com. That's pretty much it. I did start an author page on Facebook, but I never really did anything with it. I see notifications come up, and I don't really do much with them. But yeah, so Twitter or what was the other one I just said? The website is the best way to do it. No TikTok. I know that's getting more and more popular, isn't it?
It's the only way to sell books now, man. You gotta get on TikTok. You got to, I don't know. I don't know what you do on TikTok. I guess you post photos of clocks.
Yeah. It's
What about you, Glenn? How can folks find you on the internet?
We actually don't have the internet where I live.
Ah, that makes sense. You do live in the wasteland.
Exactly. Yeah, Hellbound_Heart on Instagram and Glenn Parker 88 on Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck Twitter works. Like, I don't know whether it's upside down because I'm down here, but it's a confusing place.
Yeah, that's a good point. Should we all go flush all toilets right now?
Well, Jack and I, we already know which way out of it.
Yeah.
In the chat on the side, Max, if you check the chat box, I sent you the video of those kids running from the crocodile. It's
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to click it now and see. I'll react as we continue recording this episode. You sending me Fox News clips? Jesus Christ.
Oh, is it? My bad.
Okay, I'm watching it now. A man is fishing.
Daniel on a donkey.
He's a Daniel on a donkey.
Just keep pressure. Run, bro. Run back, bro. Run back, bro. Run back, bro. Run back.
He is shouting, run back.
Run, bro. Run. Run, Daniel, run.
Jesus
Run,
Christ.
Daniel. Run, bro. Oh, no, he's got it. Pressure on. Keep the
I
pressure.
see. He has the fish attached to him still.
No, it's so big. He's swallowing it.
Oh, the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing's gone down his gob.
Oh, don't
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I will sync that
Daniel, that was a
audio from
beast of
the
a
video
fish.
and put it into the actual
Oh.
podcast episode so folks can follow
Man,
along
how
with
far
us
in
as I
back
watch
there?
it.
Oh no.
Good God. That was terrifying.
Welcome to Australia.
You know what? I do want to come and I want to fight something.
We've got like snails and stuff.
I have, I would
fought-
fight the fuck out of a snail.
You fight a possum, I suppose.
Do you
They
guys
make a
have
scary fucking noise too, man. Actually, yeah.
Do you guys have armadillos?
Nah.
Ah, see, that's something we have that you don't. So, I don't know. Eat shit, I guess.
What do you say? Armadillo.
Dillo. Armadillo.
Armored dildos. I was like, what do you mean armored? Like, is it a dildo with a fucking samurai sword? Like, what is it?
Yeah, you don't have one of those giant dildos that also can shake your hand?
The Great American Challenge.
Can you get off while also winning at arm wrestling? The answer is yes. Is that what that reality TV show is about that you guys were talking about?
Married at First Sight. Oh man, It's just a train wreck. Just go onto YouTube and have a look at some of the ridiculous drama. It's Aussie bogans at their finest.
I'm so glad I invited you on, Glenn, because we would not have had that amazing response to him talking about that show. And then you knew somebody. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a time. She's definitely interesting. You probably know who I'm talking about, Zach.
I'll have to suss it out. The missus will probably know. I just tend to walk through the show and I'm just like, are these people fighting again?
Well, I'll tag on this episode to help get some views. Thanks for coming and doing this episode, fellas. I don't know what the Australian equivalent to fellas is. What do you guys say? Mates?
Cobber.
Mates, blokes.
Blokes? Okay,
Cobber?
I'll just... What?
Yeah.
Cobber, COBBR. What's going on, Cobber?
I'm not going to say that. Thank you for listening to Ghoulish. If you liked today's episode, why don't you go and rate and review us on iTunes. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/PMM Publishing. My new novel, Touch the Night, is out right now, so if you like books about small towns and corrupt police and spooky demon shit, well, you better go get that book. Also go pick up The Girl in the Video by Michael David Wilson, and you can pre-order the new novella from Paul Michael Anderson titled Standalone over at PerpetualPublishing.com. You better do it. Don't miss these books. Don't miss them.
Live spooky, die spooky.